I'm here with cousin Frank, and we are on the farm, Lake Ardeen. The last time we recorded was like 2 months ago in June. It's now August, and kind of a requirement of the last episode was that you wear a shirt. But this time,
I know, it's unbelievable.
You literally didn't bring a shirt.
I bring one in case I got to stop somewhere. But if it's in a gas station or whatever, I ain't putting that sucker on.
At this point, there's
I'm
trying
trying to introduce the world to the real me, not the I'm on the camera.
not
me,
the
because,
curated.
Yeah.
The curated.
We're done.
cousin
I'm
Frank.
done editing for the world. Okay, listen. I don't have one of these squares, the rectangles, whatever shape you want to call it, which I made a shirt of, by the way, and I can't wait to unveil it. I made it with you in mind, actually. That I cannot. That's why I asked your email. I forgot to have him send it on the way here.
All right, so I feel like a lot has happened in both of our lives the last 2 months, and you seem to have all this energy right now.
I'm getting there, man. Yeah, there's a lot more than surface stuff with that, but yeah, man. So, as a matter of fact, to be blunt, your last podcast is what fueled that energy.
Yeah. Hold your mic up a little closer. Now, I'm smoking a cigar. We're on the farm. This is how I do it, you know?
Dude, this is beautiful, man. Dude, I can't believe that this is like in our family that we have access to a place like this.
Lake Ardeen.
Yeah, man. Which got a new sign I saw in a picture. It's a new sign. Where's
We
the
got a
old
new
one? I want the old one. That is going in my house, and it's never leaving. It's going to be hung
We're big fans of our 92-year-old grandmother.
best woman you'll ever meet. If you meet Grandma, you made it in this world. That's all that matters. Dude, trust me.
And what did you say? You said we could hear the crops growing.
Yeah, man. It's unbelievable. Should we just...
Yeah, you hear that?
Grass?
That's not a crop, but it's grass.
Close enough. It's all growing out here, man.
Okay,
Good Lord.
so let's pick this up. You took notes on
I-
one of
I-
the last podcast
Yeah,
episodes.
I did,
had.
man. So I told Richie the whole story, but there was so many things during that podcast that happened.
And
like,
the one you're referring to is the one with Kat Kennedy. I recorded it like 36 hours. Within like 36 hours of after being assaulted and robbed by 3 gunmen with Uzis
I'm gonna find you. Don't
in
worry.
Chicago. And that was just like me just putting it out there. I hadn't taken the time. Like a lot of the stuff that I've recorded since, it's been more processed and everything. That was just like, this is it.
I think this is going to be kind of like that too, because honestly, it's kind of like, I ripped the Band-Aid is not a good enough. It's like you pop the cork. That's much better.
Okay.
Because, I mean, dude, when somebody affects the memory of your family, especially, somebody that I know and am very close with personally, I take that personally. You know what I mean? And there was a few topics in particular that we will get into. But when I watched that podcast, when we talked and you told me about that situation,
And when I told you, because we had been like phone tagging each other for a while, and it was like right before.
Very important person. I'm it's all good. It's okay. They gotta know it sometime. It's okay. We're cousin Frank Falls in the scale of Richie Rich, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I was about to go on a trip, and I was, I don't know. I was like literally here before the trip, because something might happen. So I come up, see my family. You never know if I'm out in Arizona and fall into a canyon or whatever.
This in before you go.
I'm soaking it in.
You
it
have
might
to
be
do
my
it,
last
man.
moment. You never know. We never know.
You never know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. That's a big point.
Nobody knows.
And that was a big thing with watching that too.
Yeah.
It's like I had to explain what happened to you to my 11-year-old daughter because, dude, I was shook up, dude. I was ready to drive to Chicago and go hunting. Like, I'm not kidding, dude. I don't play when it comes to that. You mess with my family, you're messing with me. That's the end of the story. You mess with my friends, you're messing with me. There's nothing else to say. I mean, that's how we grew up, man. Tight as could be. You can break a link in our chain. If you broke a link, it's because we broke it ourselves. You know what I mean? That's how you do. I mean, and the thing is, like we just said before we got all this rolling, man, it's just so many words that I want to say all at the same time. They all want to come out at once. It's like.
You've had a overflowing of energy recently.
Yeah. And
let's dive into some of these notes you have.
All right. You want to go?
I don't know if there's been anybody that's had taken notes on my episodes before.
I mean, dude,
I appreciate this.
You saw the text I sent you. I said we need to have an emergency podcast. So here we are 3 weeks later. So if you, like Richie said on the last one, if you have an emergency, don't go to this guy either. For Christ's sake.
Three weeks later.
3 weeks later. Out of nowhere, too. That's what's crazy. He's like, oh, hey, headed up to Wisconsin because he lives in a garbage state down there. But, hey, that's another topic.
That is kind of a thing for me is like when I have something, then I'm like, I guess you're like this, too. Let's do it now. Yeah. I got this idea. Let's do it
because if you
today.
don't, it's different. It's a different idea by the time you get to it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, dude, when I watch that podcast, when I watch you on that one specifically, because I watched a ton of them. I've watched almost all of them. And, like, they're pretty the same. You know what I mean? Like, I know you genuinely want whoever you interview, whoever you put in front of whatever you got. Like, I know you want them to convey themselves and their stuff, but I know you also have motives for what you're trying to do with just the basic idea of the podcast, which, like, is fantastic. You know what I mean? But that one was so much different, specifically because you told...
people have been bringing this up, yeah.
Well, you told it how you take a moment and you think about, oh, my God, I can't really do this. I raised my glass to get serious, and I just got blinded. Anyway,
we're right in the sun. It's getting a little cooler though. That's for sure.
For who?
For me.
Oh yeah, half of me over there.
Think
yeah,
you
got to nick a shade, dude. You got to nick a shade. So he was thinking of you. So like I said, we all know where Cousin Frank falls on a Richie scale. Anyway, the way you told that entire story was, it made me realize that I couldn't believe how similar we were, because. Like, you genuinely want to tell exactly how it went down, exactly the way it went, so that there's no, like, people always say there's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
There's only one side of this one, because they're not telling the story. That was their 2:00 appointment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, it changed your life forever. And I, more than probably anybody out there who's viewing any of this, knows what it's like to have your life changed faster than you can snap. And when we talked, when you called me, I said it before you said it. You remember what you said? Remember when you paused and I finished your sentence?
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's amazing and crazy. And again, this is where all that crazy energy comes from. How the worst thing that's ever happened to you becomes the greatest thing that's ever happened to you. You know?
Let's go into this.
Yeah,
more,
that's on the notes. That's one of the big ones here. I got a star by it. So yeah, absolutely.
When we discussed this, we talked on the phone. This was maybe like 2 weeks ago. We talked on the phone. I was just walking here.
I mean, dude,
and I was by that field.
What time was it? About this time, or was the sun lower?
It was about this time.
About this time, yeah, beautiful. Just
so
almost
like
before
we
dusk.
talked for like an hour and 15 minutes. And I was talking to you over there. Then eventually I just walked through the woods and everything. But I was over at that exact spot. And what people don't understand, and this is what's kind of been driving me nuts. I don't let it drive me nuts, but...
That's spoken like a true Cousin Frank right there, or Frank the Tank. But yeah, you know.
People, when they find out what happened...
The first thing I do is apologize. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why either. And I only say it to other people because that's what everybody expects to hear. But I'm not sorry. I'm like, okay, let's go get him.
But like and then there's this like projection of other people's feelings and thoughts onto me.
Yep.
About like what I should feel.
Yep.
And I hate that.
Well, you're, like I said 3 times since we've been here, you're in control of your emotions.
And to me, like, yes, I didn't want this to happen. But
you didn't want it to.
But it happened.
But it happened. It did, man.
It happened. So, like, a lot of my philosophy derives from, like, getting better under chaos and pressure and becoming stronger out of it. This, like, anti-fragility kind of mindset philosophy.
I mean, look where you grew up, bro. You fight for your own.
You gotta be tough to live out here. Like, I'm a country boy.
Lives in this freaking middle of the city in a high-rise freaking building. Yeah, dude, it's nuts. I don't know if any of you know this, but dude, he went from this Dude, DePaul University, which is in downtown Chicago, where the most grimy of grimers live, dude, and like, it's just unlike, and everyone's like, what? I specifically lost my shit because I was like, wait a minute, you're going from a John Deere to a taxi cab? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. I got a lot of hard feelings with Illinois, man. A lot of bad times over there. Plus the Bears fans and that, whatever. Keep them.
To me, like, who I am now, like a month and a half later, is radically different.
Isn't it crazy?
And I'm better.
You're ready. You're ready. Like I said, you don't have to get ready. You stay ready.
Stay ready.
Now it's different, right? Now you are ready. Now because you're staying ready.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
But again, it gets to this like deeper idea of taking something tragic that happened and then turn it into an opportunity, a tool, a way to grow and get better.
Better than you thought you would be, better than you thought you could get, better than you even knew was there.
To something greater, you know?
And sometimes, and this when it overflows, you realize that it's greater than yourself. Mm-hmm. And when that shit, sorry if I'm not supposed to swear, I'm gonna swear.
You already did. So
I already cracked the seal, so that door is no longer locked. So when that happened to you, man, like I could tell, like you didn't have to tell me, like I could hear it in your voice, where it's like, I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna start right freaking now. I'm gonna change it. Yeah. And I got some stuff, man, that you could read, and actually you wouldn't believe it because I texted it. I texted a story, and I texted some of the greatest writing I've ever written. Text on my flip phone, just in case. Hold on, wait. Yes, it's real. Yes, it is my phone, and yes, I do use this.
I love how you have a flip phone, and then we're using 3 iPhone 13 to record this.
Nope. So I want to tell them about this shirt, but I nope, you got to see it. I'm not even going to talk about it, but dude, it is it's the greatest shirt that might ever exist. Came out of this brain. Yes, this one. -1 walnut. But
this brain that's had surgery operated on.
I'll show you. I got the pictures actually. Here,
do you think the brain surgery has made your brain stronger?
My brain specifically? No, my brain's just a pile of mush up there. I just learned how to manipulate it, put it back together so I can use it once in a while. But yes, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
The power that comes from my brain, yes. You know, because brain is a muscle. You know what I mean? So is it stronger? I don't know. Do you flex your brain sometimes?
Maybe.
You know, it depends. Are you taking that question literally or figuratively? Because I'll tell you right now, I use more of my brain. I use different parts of my brain, and I can tell that I'm using them differently, specifically in the way I talk to my daughter and have now. Life has a lot of communication issues, and I think once you peel away all the freaking layers, all the crap, all the nonsense, and you start looking at actual problems or actual solutions, it's always going to come down to communication, whether it be with strangers or coworkers or friends or family, whatever. It's always communication. And like I said, dude, when I watch that podcast, nobody else is ever going to know what happened specifically while I was watching it. I'm going to give an example. I'm going to do the same one I gave to you. I was doing something on my laptop because I don't have one of these. And that laptop isn't linked. Like, I wasn't watching your internet on my television. Okay, I was watching it through a thing. Anyway, I'm doing some work on a laptop. I'm registering my daughter for her softball team for next year. And at the very end, when you had to pay for all the junk, you know, it gives that little pop-up that says, "Are you a robot?" And as you click, like, do you click the boxes you see that have birds in them, you know? And as you were talking about the explosion tractor that happened not far from where we're sitting, correct? It was over there, wasn't it?
It was over there.
Oh, that field? Yeah. All right. There's fields everywhere. It's beautiful. I really want to pick all 3 of these things up and just spin them around, dude. Like, think about it. They're looking at this, and we're looking at this. You know what I mean? Think about that for your viewers.
Setting over there.
And a 400-year-old oak tree that stands there. And I mean, dude.
Dude, oak trees are my favorite.
Oh, dude, I can't get enough of them, bro. Every time I see an oak tree, a limb on the ground, and I start tearing
up.
up.
Hard for oak trees.
Dude, I'm telling you. Hey, you get it? Yeah, it's funny too. And like, yeah, man, like how I deal with my daughter, like it changed because I'm like, you know what? I'm not an 11-year-old female. I'm a freaking 39-year-old mess. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I just changed the way I did things. And like, I'm an intense guy, and you know this a lot more than these freaking males do, okay? And like, I understand. I'm very self-aware of. I mean, even though I don't have a voice today, I'm giving it to you guys and giving it to this guy because they ain't gonna be there tomorrow. And with my daughter particularly, like I like, because she's a wild child, man. You think I'm wild? Spend an hour with her. So and then I know you might get some flack on this for all you people watching this, but my daughter and her best friend. So I call my daughter Monkey. That's her nickname, and she has a best friend. His name is Mia. I don't know if I should be telling the story, but whatever. And they're like inseparable. And I have a friend like that. His name is Andy. He's been there since the beginning of everything. And he's one of the only people that have seen me vulnerable. That is the one thing I don't like anybody to see, particularly and especially my daughter. And Andy has seen me at my most vulnerable. But the thing is that through that most vulnerable, when you rise to those ashes, dude, you're just reborn with the frickin'. You're just ready, dude. You're ready all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, did I tell you? I don't know if I talked about it last time when I had brain surgery and frickin' was eating oysters an hour later.
Yeah, we talked about
We touched about that, okay. And, like, that's the thing, man. Like, I'm not stopping you.
You just move on.
Yeah, dude.
That's what people don't understand. It's like,
But they will. That's the the crappy part, is that people that haven't had this kind of stuff happen to them, they're blessed that hasn't happened to them. But they're also missing out.
yeah, they are missing out.
That's what's crazy
a little
about
bit.
it, dude. That's what's crazy about it. And like the fact that when we talked that day and you were walking around this,
I was walking around here.
I mean, dude, I feel bad for these people, dude. Like, we should just have one shooting, like, randomly. We should have a drone or something. Upgrade. We got to upgrade, Richie. Come on. You know what? I'll buy a drone. You want to shop
I think
for a
that's
drone?
the next thing on the list.
A drone?
After cordless mics is a drone. Then we can shoot drones.
This is kind of...
Hey, all right. We're getting there. We're getting...
I got robbed of all this stuff, and I'm bitching that he's not upgrading enough. Love it. I love it.
I got robbed. We upgraded now. We were on, the last time we shot, we were on an iPhone 7, 8, and a 13 mini. And
I still
now
had
we're
a flip
on
phone.
2 13 minis and a 13 Pro, which is my dad's.
I have no idea what you just said.
Wait, can you believe that my dad has an iPhone 13 Pro?
Dude.
He went from a flip phone to a 13 Pro.
Yeah, so he went before me.
Yeah. Well, I think he sees some of the cool stuff that you're able to do.
Yeah, there's cool stuff, but it can get turned on you. That's a big one on the list. That's one of the biggest ones on the list. So now I'm going to dive right into this. You might have to sit here for a minute. Listen, I'm
already sitting.
I know, I'm not looking over there, though. I'm looking right at you. So one of the biggest points that you made that we did not finish in our giant conversation the other day, boy, if they would have heard that one, because that's the thing. If we just had that recording and we would have finished that conversation 3 days later, like, because it would have went 3 days later. You're very cool.
What if I told you it was recorded?
Cool. Then I want to analyze it and springboard from there. Because, dude, I'll connect the dots all day long. I love it. And, like, you have that drive to understand and want to understand the other person. And, like I said, I have this giant text that after this I'll have you read. It's amazing. And because it's really enlightening. And a lot of people, like, they don't care. They don't care. Like, I don't need to know you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're part of my life, but I don't need to know you. You know what I mean? I think the difference between that is, like, we want to, like, absorb. You want to become that person for a little while and, like, live their life for a little while and, like, understand, oh, this is how they see the world, huh? And I use that, like I said, with my daughter particularly. Yeah. And the reason that I bring all this up is because of the big point that I'm trying to make here is your advice at the end of that episode. Now, this is where we didn't talk. This is all uncensored material coming up.
No, you said you didn't like it.
Yeah, I did not. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's now uncensored, because this is where you were like, wait. Hold on. We got to get it for
Well, then we got heated. We got heated for a while.
Yeah. No, it was
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
Okay, so this is a huge thing, is that I've been saying this for a long time. A really good friend of mine taught me this, and I didn't realize he taught me this until I had to use it. So there is a world, and I mean literally two different worlds. Okay, you have arguments, okay, where it's like, no, bullshit. No, that's an argument. We have disagreements, where, like I just said, you try to become that other person, understand their side of you, be like, oh, okay, I understand. I still don't agree, but I do understand.
Yeah.
And understanding, knowing are two different things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's separation there. Because when you understand, you've seen all the parts. You know how it goes back together. You know, when you know something, yeah, grass is green, cool. When you understand why the grass is green, that's a whole different, it's a whole different shade of green. Wow. And, all right, now we're going to get to it. All right, start the lawnmower. The advice that you gave was, and I don't know if this because it is what it is, the way the world is, whatever. You said, make sure you back your shit up on a cloud. That was your advice. That, I lost my shit. I almost flipped my coffee table.
So you got to understand, though, I'm like,
I know.
Half serious, half joking.
Kind of. Because you like, that's the...
But I was very serious about it, though, too.
Yeah.
Because then, if you do that, then nothing else that you have materially matters.
You have your phone on you? Is it in your pocket? Is it right here?
We're using it.
How often do you take out your phone and look at your pictures? Not this, but look, one by one at your pictures. One by one.
So what I do, I have this elaborate system of slideshows where I'm really into moment photography.
Okay, explain.
So like,
okay.
So like what? Basically, when I go about my day, I believe everything I do each day matters, and everywhere I am and every experience I have is important.
Was this before or after or the whole time?
I've been doing this since like 20.
For a while.
19, 18.
Okay.
So I'll be going about my day and then just take photos, like landscape photos of like scenes.
On this or in your head?
On the devices.
Okay.
So then what I do is I create themed albums, and then I play them on my TV, and I listen to vinyl records and light incense.
What ones? Which vinyls?
I got a lot of them.
Oh, dude, give me a couple. Which vinyls? We're totally just hanging out now. I don't even care. The cameras are here.
Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan.
Ooh, interesting. He's a weirdo. Good stuff, though.
But in the window of Bringing It All Back Home, Highway 61 Revisited, and Blonde on Blonde. Those three in particular.
Decent taste of music you got over there.
Yeah. And then
Give me one more. Give me a couple more.
One you would appreciate.
Is it the Beatles?
Yeah, well, I'm a huge... The Beatles are like a pillar of my philosophy that I've learned from. So I got Hard Day's Night, Live at the Hollywood Bowl, Rubber Soul, Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's, White Album, Abbey Road.
And is that a part of your... I mean, that's got to be a part of your routine, right, of making these things?
I like... You can't force them, but like, especially when I go on trips. Like, I went to Arizona.
Right.
I am actively looking for like cool moments, and it's usually not with people in them. They're usually like not necessarily landscapes, but like landscapes. Like if we were out on a boat on Lake Powell and just like the rock formations in the water, but also the house, we had this hot tub and a pool, and then the canyons, we had that. But then in the mornings, I do my morning routine out on the table, and I have a photo. I do a lot of this of like my notebooks and my coffee and just that moment.
You take your coffee black?
Just black.
Good coffee, or?
I do French press typically. It all depends, but so it's or like when I'm out and about in Chicago, like at the Art Institute, or just I have a lot out here.
Yeah,
I have like.
I hope so.
I have a couple albums.
Like I said, I'm really sad that this is what they're seeing. I mean, dude,
look
at the sun to the oak tree.
Yeah, but I have cool ones where the sun is down, but you can see like
the rays beating over the oak tree. Because I've seen that a bunch of times. Yeah, where it's almost like the oak tree's jumping out of the sky.
So then I usually like every Thursday I have these ideation sessions where Thursdays are like my free days because I'm like.
You don't have a free day, dude. You're trapped in your own head.
But it's a way to get out of my head where I have an 8-foot whiteboard in my apartment.
Oh boy.
I play vinyl records. I play these photo slideshows, light incense. I have a good time, and then I just like basically evaluate the performance I had during the week. Did I get all the things done I wanted to do? What am I doing next week? What do we have up ahead? How do we?
I would hate to live that life. I would go nuts.
I love it.
See, this is where things.
I love it.
This is where things. This is exactly.
So I use all the photos, and to me, like I'm missing like 3 weeks of photos
that were in that freaking bag.
That were when it was like stolen, because they didn't back up on the cloud. So there's like this part of summer, because then I have like summer 2022, summer 2021, and I can look back. It's a way for me to actively look back, because
what are you looking back for?
To appreciate where I am now.
Okay.
Like I'm very
and that's something that I believe hard in too.
It's like I'm living in the past, present, and future all at once.
Now that is how you say it, dude. That's how you say it, dude. Exactly. Yeah. You guys have no idea how much I have used that exact line in my actual life, not ever hearing that before.
So it's
from
like
his mouth.
I live very like
wow, that's
like
crazy.
non-linear.
Well,
so
sort of, because if you're living in both, there's always plateaus. You can't avoid that.
We're getting technical now. Like
that coming from you, it doesn't even feel right that you said that. We're getting technical now. Yeah, right.
No, like so for me, it's like in the moment I can appreciate the past, but at the same time I acknowledge like that was like a slideshow, like say the Miami trip that happened in April. It feels like 5 years ago.
Dude, you're not a boring person, I'll tell you what.
Like my life, like each week, I'm like a different version of myself.
Isn't it crazy?
Better and better and better and better.
Now, was there anything that made that happen? Or is that how you've been living for an extended period of time when you like realize that like, okay, I'm gonna do this, or like with my life, I have this goal that I'm gonna do in life, and here's how I'm gonna get to it.
I mean, it really was catalyzed by one of the more recent near-death experiences, or the tractor fire.
Yeah, yep.
It was like after that, I was like, I want to get better.
Yeah,
I want to live my best life. But until then, I approached it as like this flip of the switch. Like tomorrow, I'm just gonna be a different person. It's ineffective. It doesn't work out.
Nope.
So instead, I'm gonna commit to like each day taking small steps and getting better. And I just started reading and just like exploring my curiosity. And then like, then that, just like that openness and absorption, I got into art a lot. And then through art, I got into all these other ideas. And like,
find peace yourself, my friend.
I am a living art piece.
Yeah, that's all right, dude. Trust me.
But it's like all of that, like, it got to the point where it's now like it was slow. It starts off, and in this world of instant gratification,
I hate it.
where everybody wants change and immediate results,
it'll never happen.
Patience. Like, I'm gonna take steps, but you're not gonna see the results till later on. Be okay with that. Accept that. But just keep
telling
pushing.
Yourself this, right?
Yeah.
This is your own advice to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it got to the point where, say, like, so then, like, every few months, I'm noticing, like, oh, wow, like, I'm, like, different. Like, I'm different. But then when COVID hit, I, like, bunkered down even more. And then every 6 weeks, like, I'm a different version. So I
it's like a snake, like, relieving itself of its skin, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, isn't it?
That's one way to put it. I thought about it, which you're going to hate. It's like,
it's gonna go back to the rectangle, dude.
Updating my operating system and software. I'm the same hardware.
Dude, I can't. You're so lucky. I can't yell. I would have popped this microphone by now. Look how hard I'm grabbing it, dude.
So
Jesus Christ.
But it's like
where you grew up, dude.
So but it's merging the two.
I know.
I merge technology and nature together.
Yeah. So you're telling me we should have a couple of these in the field every now and again, just recording?
Yeah, dude.
I hate it, dude.
Then we get the drones. Let's get the drones.
I'll come in with a baseball bat and take care of every single one. Actually, I wouldn't. I'd call somebody to do it for me.
So,
You're
But then
crazy.
so I'm like constantly updating the operating system. We're kind of like eliminating or reducing bugs in the process. But now it's to the point where it's like weekly, I'm like changing. To the point where like,
You're becoming Neo in the Matrix.
or better.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Here's why I can't stand it. I get so irritated with this shit. Is because, like I said, that's your advice to the freaking world. And
It's really advice to myself.
well, and that's okay though. But that's
Yeah.
you. You know, that's part of you. You know what I mean? If you give advice, you better stand behind it. Otherwise, it becomes what's on my freaking ankle, just words. Which is another thing that happened. We talked about that.
You should see how good I'm at backing my stuff up now since the gunman.
Oh my God.
Like whenever something happens, like within 24 hours, it's backed up to the cloud.
Dude, you're doing this on purpose, dude. You found that red button and you're just freaking leaning on it, dude. You're sitting on it now, dude. Asking me to throw you in that lake. I'll do it. I've been in that lake once. Do you know what happened? You
probably get your junk snapped off by a snapping turtle.
Nah, I ain't worried about the snapping turtles, bro. You gotta worry about the muck. I was stuck in that bad boy. My buddy and his old lady were over here, and I tipped a boat, that little 16-footer over there. It barely floats. The Sears 1964. I flipped it right over, man, and I swam to the side. It's not great water, by the way, and it tastes terrible, bro. Trust me, it tastes terrible. And
But it is beautiful.
oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, there's really nice fish in there too. Really, I caught the biggest bass of my life in that little hole right there. And
I caught my first fish with Grandpa when I was like 6 years old out here.
you remember it, don't you?
I got this like photo that is like,
Locked in here.
yeah, but
Is it backed
like,
up on a cloud?
That's one of my projects now. Okay, so get this.
That I'm okay with.
So this is one of my projects now, is backing up like home photos and
Yeah.
videos.
I actually started to do that too, but in a different way. I
Um,
put them all in fireproof books.
the issue with, well, basically taking the physical and digitalizing
Yeah,
them.
that's tough.
The individual photos are it's so much labor. It is so much labor.
Bummer. You don't get instant gratification, huh? You can't just go done.
Well, you can't take a photo of it either because then there's glare and like it's just like less quality. So you have to like scan them, but the scanners aren't
Millennials.
developed enough.
Yeah, you don't have a portable scanner on one of these? No, you can't turn one of these into a scanner? Again,
There's probably an app for
what's
it.
oh, dude, I hate you. What's funny is that I'm okay with this. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I think it's very important.
You know what you would not be okay with?
Lots of things, but go ahead.
Something happens to them, and now all those photos, all those memories, they're gone.
I would be furious, right? And that's the thing. I mean, you know what happened there in '88?
Mhm.
That's gone. And memory's toast.
It's gone.
I have the paper that had that. I still have that paper in a laminate.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. That's why having her right across.
Our barn burnt down in 19.
Oh, it was one of the biggest fires. I think
It was 91. It was 1991.
No, it was '88.
91, because I was 3 years old.
I bet.
Yeah. It was 91.
Because if it was '88, it was 5, and that sounds right.
Because my mom was holding me. If it was 88, I wouldn't be existing.
You are a millennial. Shit. So the reason I'm okay with backing up the photographs because yes, they are near and dear, especially because we lost so many great people in this world, man. Especially at our family
See,
tree.
you're opening the door.
Trust me, bro. I know. Trust me. I hate it too. Well, I hate it. I know you don't. You're just trying to suck me into that dark side, dude. I'm sorry, man. I'm a Jedi, son.
I'm working on you.
You go ahead. As long as you see that this is my rectangle, you ain't getting there, son. I know there's a lot of shit you have to do in this world that you cannot do without technology, and I hate that too. Here's why. Because in all of your focusing and all this stuff, which is great, man. I have nothing wrong with that. That's you. That's your deal. You're not making your own memories. You're not making I feel like you're almost reeling back so that you can do this instead of just freaking doing it. So let me explain.
Elaborate.
Yeah, let me explain a little bit. So the reason that when you gave that advice on that episode, went nuts through my head because when I woke up from this, all I wanted to do was go hang out with my daughter and do the coolest shit I could possibly think of which I'm going to do in a couple of weeks, by the way. It is going to be ridiculous. September 4th, if this airs before September 4th, it's Sunday. The Brewer game is at, I think, 3 o'clock Wisconsin time, 1 o'clock Arizona time. You will see this face and lots of other faces in Arizona in the Diamondback Stadium. I believe it's called Chase Field. And you will see a glowing blue and yellow suite out in the first baseline all the way at the end. And you'll see this face. Just saying, I'm going to be on TV. You'll see, watch.
All right.
And, that was all I want to do is make memories. I don't want to keep them. Yes, this is nice to have photographs. So, and it stemmed from, this all came from a conversation I had a long, long time ago with a bunch of my friends. Two of my friends particularly, I've known one for 35 years, or 30 years. The other one for 27 years. I have one photograph between the two of them with us together. Dude, and
so now it feels like there's a philosophical question now that
we're getting technical.
Has not been possible before the era we're living in now. Where
Rectangles?
Do you live your life like...
Yeah, I phrased this one right, Richie. Hold on, slow it down, dude, because I know this is like, this is where it all came together for you and me, dude. Where it was like we had to stop talking.
Now we're getting to the idea of what does it mean to exist?
And because of your book, I'm sure you know that you know which book I'm talking about. I can't. What is it? Homeless but Human or something, mm-hmm. Right? Is that right? Is that the title?
Yeah.
I haven't read it in a while. You said something in there, and I believe it was at the end. It might even been on one of the covers about how we're not living, we're existing.
Yeah.
Or we're surviving. It was something. It was existing. I think that's the word.
Yeah, there were. I heard it at least 3 times in the homeless shelter where guys, we're going through our daily stuff or whatever, and like, shit, man, we ain't living. We're just existing.
And that struck a chord with me because I was doing the same thing in a totally different place. I went homeless. I have 1 million. Maybe not 1 million. I'll try to pin the actual number instead of taking the frank exaggeration all the way up. I probably have a solid 500 people that if I called them right now and say, "Hey, could you be right here as soon as you can?" They'd be right here as soon as they could. They wouldn't ask why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be here already and sitting down.
Right.
And that is a huge blessing to me and a testament to my character. Because like those homeless gentlemen and women and whoever else you met there, and this goes back to the very beginning of this conversation, is that if you haven't been to the bottom, you don't know what the fuck it's like. So sorry. I didn't mean to drive an F-bomb. I was trying to avoid the F-bomb. But you don't know what it's like down there.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what it's like down there, and you end up there in a time where you can't be there,
yeah,
what then? So a lot of the junk that I went through, when I went through it when I was younger, boy, am I happy I did it. And again, it all goes back to terrible things. Whether self-inflicted or inflicted upon you. That when those things happen, when it's happening, you can't see it because it's like, oh my God, this is so terrible. Whatever it is, man. And after it, when you self-reflect, if you have the ability, and that's the other thing I know is some people do not have the ability to stop, reflect, learn, move on. Okay, now there's a process. I'm sure there's more steps in that process, but that's the basics. And when you have the ability, like you and I have, and I think that's where I noticed that we're so similar. I mean, in mind, not in physical. Jesus.
We have quite vastly different bodies.
I mean, they're close. I just have 2 of you. That's all.
Yeah.
I ate the first one. I'm looking for the second one, so you better be careful. It's a good thing you sat a couple feet away from me. I didn't eat dinner before I came on here. But yeah, so like all that said, I'll get a little deep. So when my dad died, okay, dude, I was a mess. I was a wreck. I did terrible shit because I wasn't paying attention. I was like, I can't believe this happened. This is terrible. But you know what, dude? After however many years of self-destruction, and I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Hold on. Wait a minute. What am I doing here? And I took the time to look at what I was doing and why I was doing it, where, like, it was like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Fix it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. There's one thing you got to do. Fix it. Do it. And I did it. And many years later, I got cancer, and I do it all over again. But you know what? Now I'm ready for it. That's why I don't care. I have cancer. I'm gonna live forever. No, see, get this. I'm gonna live forever. Be the first guy to see live forever. That's the thing, man. Is that all that shit empowers you like you've never experienced before, which is why the bottom of that barrel is so freaking important. Because, I'm gonna regret saying this. I know I will, but it's okay, because it's for the greater good of the people. The woman I had the kid with is a testament to that every day. That the worst thing that could possibly happen to you makes the best thing that could possibly happen to you. Now, do I need to explain that, or can you figure that one out?
I think we're good.
Okay. And I live that every day of my life. And that's okay. I'm happy about that now. And it took me, I'm not kidding, probably, years that it just kept spinning in my head. There's one person in this world that can't get along with, and it's constantly going, no matter what you're doing. If you're fishing, talking on a microphone, driving a car, it's constantly going. Like, you're just thinking, like, why can't I get along with her? Like, I'm the same way I am, man, whether these are here or not. And I think it's hard to, like, get that across to people where it's like, dude, I'm the same everywhere I go. I walked into my 92 grams house like this. Gave her a hug. And if you rewind back in time.
Can we pause that for a second? I walk in to her kitchen just now when we're about to record. Here you are standing shirtless, like you are.
I told her I wasn't putting a shirt on ever again.
And here's
summer.
Here's my 92-year-old grandmother.
Did she hesitate to hug me? Hell no. It's my grandma, bro. Yeah, man. Like, that's the thing,
dude. It's so funny.
But that's the thing. That's normal for us because that's how I am. You know what I mean? That's in my fabric, and it's in all your fabrics.
Okay, so let me.
Do you want to do a part 2? I don't know how long we've been talking, but I could do this all night, man.
Hold on. I forgot my watch. I usually forget something when I go on a trip.
This time is your watch?
This time is my watch.
Like, is that like your
my analog watch.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
The one your brother gave you? The pocket watch?
No, not that one. It's just it's a wrist watch? Yeah, I wear it every day.
Ooh, what is it? Now I'm more interested. I got a really good buddy that loves watches. Actually, that's going to be our engagement. He's my engagement.
Well, it's just like this. It's just like a Timex, like a $40 watch, but it looks cool. Yeah.
Does it say the numbers?
No.
Nice.
It's not digital.
Oh boy,
it's like the one non-digital.
Yeah. See the light, buddy. I don't see the light. Right.
But I'm trying to figure out ways. Like, I see everybody wearing these. I was on this trip, and
trying to figure out ways how you can make it more freaking iPhone-y.
People are wearing these Apple Watches, and I'm just curious why they use them. And they mainly say for like health stuff. They can track their health stuff data.
Neat.
But I don't like how it looks. I love the look of the
what if it was more
analog.
Rectangular?
That's the problem. It is rectangular.
What if they make a circle one?
That's what I'm curious. I'm like, what if we could?
Yeah, right, exactly.
But then yeah. Anyways,
we're getting technical.
But going back to like something you said made me think about. We were talking about rock bottom, and a lot of this stuff comes down to decision making.
Correct. And timing. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Time is everything.
But especially when I lived homeless, it's like people that have opinions about me living homeless don't understand.
Meaning people not homeless or homeless people?
So people that are not homeless.
Okay.
Like that people that are my age, college educated, whatever. They can't conceptualize how I can get along and understand people in these circumstances.
We're all people, bro.
Exactly.
We're all people. We all got circumstances.
But then when I look at other people's lives, like you're talking about rock bottom decision making, and you've learned from it. It's empowered you.
More than anything on this planet, man.
A lot of people live lives just like how they're told, or how society prescribes it to them.
How you're supposed to live.
How you're supposed to live.
How you're supposed to live.
And they are the most clueless people. Sorry if I'm offending.
Yeah, dude. We're not a farm, bro. We're not like, dude.
But this is where I've noticed a lot, especially since COVID. I'm a country boy.
Hell yeah.
And so, but I live in the city, and I'm around a lot of people who grew up in the suburbs.
The city has done quite the number on you, my friend.
No, it's not the city. It's the suburbs. People that grew up in the
In the
suburbs.
cities, you gotta have a little exterior. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's like it's more natural, whereas the suburbs often are just like chain restaurants and just like it's like the result of like consumerism and like
is that a word?
materialism.
Yeah, materialism is definitely a word, and that's the problem, and that's why.
Yeah.
That's a part of why I hate these things.
So,
Because
but it's like
it's a part of that, but not as
it's like this artificialness. But when you get down to it, people who grew up in the city, who live in the city, who are gritty, like, and people in the country are like the same folks. Like, so when I lived homeless, it was actually refreshing because I was coming from like 4 years of college, and there's like this environment, and like you're learning through books about the world, but then
the world's out there.
the world is out there, and then you live homeless in this world. I lived, like I appreciated my education and that all experience
You
and
live
stuff,
almost out here all you want.
but
The winter be tough.
like I learned more in like 4 months than like 4 years.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, and that's
You learn from people who actually made decisions, good or bad,
all the way down.
all
to
the way
bottom.
down.
It's a Mo song. All the way down. That's
And,
my favorite band ever.
I learned so much from all these people from all walks of life.
Yep.
It was so enlightening.
And I think maybe that's what drew us to be so similar. Because, bro, I didn't choose to go down. I had the homeless thing.
You know why we're similar? We're the same personality. So like we're both,
bit.
we're.
A little bit, Richie. I mean,
There's a
almost.
difference. There's a difference.
You gotta say with your shirt.
So,
on,
like-
you got. I mean, look, these ladies out here would love to see the six pack you got on that shirt, dude. I've been dying to tell you this. I was gonna tell you this before you hit the start button on these doohickeys. There's a female that I talked to, and she was talking about I don't know. She's talking about something, and she ended up talking about like this dude she was with and how gorgeous he is. I was like, yeah, how gorgeous. I'll put my cousin Richie up again any day. Any day of the week, buddy. Any day of the week. You ain't gonna find a chin line like him. Yeah, you ain't gonna find a freaking model. You know what? I want all of you right now to go ahead, Google dictionary, whatever you got. No, yeah, they don't make dictionaries anymore, do they? Dictionary is that rectangle, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's terrible that we don't know that. I bet you they do somewhere, but I bet you it's like Blockbuster. There's one in the world. Yeah,
It's like the sacred dictionary.
There is one Blockbuster in the world. I think it's on the East Coast. Actually.
Okay.
But go ahead and look up True American Male. And you're going to see a picture of this guy's dad right there. And he'll be working.
Yeah.
He don't got time to look at the camera, trust me. He retired so he can get to work and, go crop that field and freaking till that land and whatever you got to do, man. Like he dug a new fire pit just because he had an extra 45 seconds between the walk to the tractor and the shed. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Yeah.
you don't get like that by sitting on your ass and getting like
Dude,
this.
okay, so like I brought some friends up from the city.
How many?
Great friends of mine. So there were 3 of us.
Are you gonna say their names on camera? You want to give them a shout out? You can.
Yeah, so we got Matt Bones, Sammy Saab, Felipe Hernandez.
What's up? I know you don't
So
know
they-
me. We'll meet one day.
They came up from the city, and bro, this was Felipe's first vacation in 20 years. All he does is work.
Felipe.
Yeah, he works in the kitchen
Are
at the
you
restaurant.
very close with all
Yeah,
three of these guys?
yeah, for
these,
sure.
These are your posse, your
These
boys?
are my guys.
Cool.
So I gave them all rides on the tractor. We just went around for a few miles.
Kids, dude. Like you
Yeah.
were driving.
Like
that
they're kids, yeah.
You were driving that tractor when
Yeah.
you were a kid, so you didn't get a ride in it.
So but
that's funny, dude. That's so funny.
so then we came back here
They
and
never met,
before
have they seen a tractor like that close before?
No, probably not.
And I guarantee you they ain't been in one then.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, dude. That's
Yeah.
great. Isn't that mind blowing to you? And
Yeah.
you were driving that bad boy. What? 7, 8
Yeah.
Bobcats when you were what? 6. You
Yeah.
know? Like literally, hey, Richard, go take our manure.
Yeah.
You gotta get that manure out.
I rode the tractor on the 4th of July parade this year.
Did you?
I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go do it.
Well, that reminds me. I gotta talk to your sister's husband.
Wait, but time out.
Yeah, go
So,
ahead. Sorry.
So they come here, and then my dad pulls up on the truck or with the truck, and then he meets all the guys because he was actually picking up a combine in Illinois, and he drove it like
All the way.
6 hours.
All the
all the
way.
way up,
I
yeah.
talked to your dad before, during,
Yeah.
and after that trip.
Uh-huh.
When he told me that, I dropped my phone.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I gotta drive. I gotta take it back from Illinois, and he was on his cell phone. He's like,
Yeah.
I gotta get off this thing. Like it was just a nuisance to him.
So he comes here and he shakes all the guys' hands.
After driving.
And so all the guys, they meet my dad. And then my dad is the kind of person where when someone meets him for the first time, they can't stop talking about him for the next hour.
Dude, he's the Midnight Milker, bro. Don't forget that, dude. He's already got a superhero name.
The Midnight Milker.
The Midnight freaking, dude.
But his hands, like, these are like mitts.
They literally
They're
crush rocks.
You shake his hand and, like, you know that it means something.
Damn right. Where do you think I learned it from?
Yeah.
There's 3 things on a handshake. You know what 3 they are? Really? Come on.
Why do we have to break it down? A handshake, you just
No, there's
give a
3.
handshake.
No.
What are the 3 things?
The 3 things. Number 1, posture. Number
Okay.
2, eye contact. And number 3, grip. Okay, those are 3 important. This is something I learned from your dad.
Well,
he told me this.
So
a long time ago.
No one told me this because growing up, every night before I went to bed, my dad and I would shake hands.
That's amazing.
Every single night.
Instead of a hug or a kiss, you'd shake hands.
We shake hands. We look each other in the eye.
Dude, your dad is such
and
a
we go to
badass
bed.
motherfucker, dude. I swear to
Yeah.
God. That's how you teach your kids.
Yeah.
And if you got in line, what happened? What happened? You
Well,
smack around a little bit.
I just don't get out of line.
Bingo.
Don't get
'cause
out
you
of
know
line
better.
because you don't want to disappoint that man that gave you that handshake.
Okay? And you can use that in almost every single aspect of your life, everywhere you go.
But
That
now,
is-
everywhere in the world, like,
trying to shake somebody's hand now.
yeah. And it's like, when you shake someone's hand, like, your word, your handshake should mean something.
Your word means something. Screw that phone. Your word means something. And I think that is where everything stems from. Okay? And that goes exactly back to where I was headed with the bottom of the barrel. Because I have been there. Believe me, I've been in the worst possible ways in things that nobody would ever know, and I'm not going to talk about them. But in that moment, during that time, whether it be a day, an hour, a month, a year, a decade, it doesn't matter. I had my word. And because of not only this family, but the people I associate with, good or bad, my word meant if I said, I got you, I got you. There was no second guessing Frank, because Frank's word means something.
Right.
Okay? It's not just words, which I have on my ankle here. This is the most meaningful tattoo I've ever gotten. It's also my first tattoo. And this is a part of that. Because, like, I think just people in general, and I think this is why I hate the rectangle so much, is because
There's a
divide.
curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A divide. And, not everybody's going to grow up like this. I mean, Jesus, thank you, everybody. Everything of the hard work I got just to acquire this. Even a part of this, much less what's around us outside of where we're sitting right now. And that's the thing, dude. It took what? 100 years to get to where we're sitting right now? And, like, we know that. We don't forget that kind of stuff. Okay? We know what it took to get here. We may not have done it, but we did some of it. You more than I. But again, I know what you did. I know he did. I understand that, and that's a part of what I was saying. You've got to understand it. And if you don't understand it, you're never going to care about it. If you don't understand it, you're never going to fight for it. If you don't understand it, you're never going to get that drive to go get it or change it or do anything with it because you don't understand it. And
you also, the role model to, like, see how it's done and how you do it is so important and often important. Lacking in people's lives.
And that, again, is exactly what I used to myself. And look, man, I'm not the greatest role model. I understand I got some things. But I'm getting there, man. I'm trying to get back to it. And I'm almost there. I can feel it. And I had to make these changes on my own. I didn't care. And that's on the list, too. Doctors and all that garbage. I'm done. And I don't know if I asked you this or if we talked about this or we talked about this here or not. You know the ingredients in an aspirin?
I don't personally know.
Right. But millions and millions of people take them. Why?
Because doctors tell them it's fine.
Yeah. Aspirin's good. Take an aspirin. I'm sure there's reasons for it. Again, I'm not going against that, but I'm trying to understand it, and I don't, because I've taken. I was on. I think my most that I was on was 64 pills a day. Some of them were repeats. Some of them were other stuff. Two of those pills at one point in my life that I was taking were $35,000 a month. Who can afford that? Right. Okay. And like I said, some of the stuff you go through, man, it helps you grow. Okay. And like, I never once did I feel sorry for myself that I had to go through all this bullshit. I turned it into, I was proud. Okay. To where it's like, I get to go through this shit. So she don't have to, dude, I'll take it all day. What do you got? I wish I could take the stints out of her heart. Put them right here. I don't care.
Yeah.
Put 1,000 of them in there. Go ahead. As long as she's good, you're good. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, everybody good? All right, we're good. Let's go. I don't need pity, sympathy. I don't need shit. I appreciate it. I do, because it's love, man. And when you say something along these lines in that one, but dude, when you feel that love, when you were at the bar and like people were like, dude, it's undescribable.
Yeah.
I'll give you a small scenario, a quick one, because I tend to ramble.
Yeah, we got to start closing up shop.
I said we can do a round two, dude. The sun, look at that sunset. Turn your freaking we don't have the
after this, we're gonna have to take some time and just
dude,
make moments.
Don't say it like that. Come on, we're cousins, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. Who's the lucky one? Yeah, okay. Right, it's Richie. He's the lucky one. Yeah, I know. More meat on the bone, buddy. This turkey's got a lot more gobble. But it's like to have such a beast of a thing happen in your life, and like when those people are like, I was gonna give you an example. When Jessica's house burned to a crisp. Okay, now we think we know why that's irrelevant in this particular case. I mean, it burned to a crisp. And from the walk, okay, nobody knew this yet. Like, this was still information, okay? Now, I'm going to give a shout out to those freaking rectangles on this one. Because of those rectangles, okay, we walked from her house to my house, which is exactly 4 blocks. We walked 3 blocks and then 1 block down. Okay, it's 4 blocks away. We walked. Before we left our yard, I took her rectangle. I sent one text message to one person. Okay? A text message, not a picture, not a Tweetagram or an Instaface or whatever you got out there. Okay, none of that garbage. I sent one text to one person, which would have been a phone call if I had my phone on me. I forgot in the truck. And by the time we walked those 3 blocks west and 1 block north, I was like, what the fuck is going on in my house? I'm like, I seen all this shit on the porch. Like, I got, where the front steps go up into the door. The whole porch, the stairs, the sidewalk was just covered in clothes, food, money. I was like, we walked 4 blocks, dude. 4 blocks, 3 blocks west, 1 block north. And my friends, my family, the people on the block, I sent one text message, Richie. One. I was like, I was crying the entire, that 1 block north. I was in tears. Because I seen it all the way down there. I was like, what the hell is all that shit? And we got up to it. I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is absolutely unbelievable. This isn't even happening to me. These are all my people, all my friends, all my family, all my block that were like, something happened to one of you people. Take it all. Here's my car. Here's my house. Yeah. It's the most unbelievable thing.
I think what you're highlighting is community.
Yeah, man.
And the need to be a part of a community, give to your community, and just make sure people are okay, taken care of, and
I'm all juiced up.
Kind of. Well, to like kind of close this up.
You can be juiced up, and we're gonna shut her down, huh? All right, Rich. You're gonna have to deal with that after we turn these off, though.
But we were talking about this in our conversation on Sunday over the phone. Is like what I'm most curious about and what I'm obsessed and committed to discovering is the answer, or trying to create an answer or finding an answer for the question: how do we create strong and empowered communities in the 21st century, both physically and digitally? And that's just one example of it. Like, how do we get more people to feel like they're a part of something, they're welcomed, they're loved, and that they're able to give what they have to other people so that we're all okay? That's what I'm most curious about. That's what I'm obsessed with. That's why I do all the stuff that I do, is so that I can learn and try and do and figure this out. Understand.
That's a big one.
And understand. That's why I do what I do.
Because once you understand why not, you can understand how to. And again, that's you can't put a number on how powerful it is. You know, you can't put words of like I said, dude. I didn't even know what to do. So, you know, and that's just one example, dude. I could give you a million of them if you go back to when I was at rock bottom. Trust me, man. My family, like, they didn't even know, and they could sense it. You know what I mean? And that's I didn't have to talk. I don't need to talk about it. I didn't have to then. You can see it in my face. You can just feel the aura, man, the bubble, and that's a whole nother thing I'll teach you about.
And you and I, to wrap this up.
You
and I have this like sense between each other of like when I'm driving up in Wisconsin, it's so eerie how sometimes you'll just like know I'm in Wisconsin. You have this sense where you know I'm in Wisconsin. And like I said earlier, sometimes I'm only here for like a night and that's it. But then that night, while I'm driving up, somehow you know that I'm coming up.
I love Wisconsin, bro.
Scary,
I love Wisconsin. I love it. That's why I'm coming down to Arizona. I'm going to invade that place for that Brewer game. You can see nothing but blue and gold, bro. It's going to be glowing. Trust me.
All right. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation,
really was, man. It really
as
was.
Always.
Yeah, it really was. It went great. Do we have to clap now, or do you want to clap later? Or? Yeah. I like the clap, dude. That first one.
We enjoy a clap for everybody.
Yeah.
This is to line up the audio and video.
If it makes air cool, but now the pressure's on. The pressure's on now because that was a really good one. Hold on, you count it out.
Okay.
No, do it. You can do it. Come on.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's way off.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was perfect timing. Timing is everything.
All right. Thanks again, Cousin Frank.
Or Frank the Tank, depends who you're talking to.